Good evening. Wendell Peters here, also known as Papa Bear, also known as Radiance Radical Healing. And tonight, besides episode 2, we have a very special guest with us tonight. And the topic is caregiving and how much fun it is. And so who we have is my beloved Laura, who is on numerous occasions been my care provider. And it just so happens right now she is in that role, and so I was like, who better to ask questions about caregiving than Laura, my life partner, right?
Right. My name is Laura McMyler, and I have been with Wendell now for about 10 years. Unfortunately, we've had our medical challenges over the last decade, but we're able to face everything and go through it with our attitude of gratitude. So what questions do you have for me?
So we're going to start right here at the fundamental, because right now we're at the Adventist Health Hospital, where I'm a resident, and Laura is not, and so she will be asked to leave here shortly. So we're going to get right to it, and I'm going to ask you this first question here, dear. Okay, ready?
Uh-huh.
What does being a caregiver actually mean to you in your own words?
Being a caregiver means that you are there and present for the person who needs your love and support, whether that is mental, physical, emotional, or spiritual. And that is what you do. It's an act of service. It's an act of love. It is a challenge and difficult and rewarding when you're able to be there for someone and to tune in and to help them through the difficult time that they're having, whether it's emotional or physical.
Hi.
Everything good?
Everything is good.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you. Excuse a little hospital action there. All right, go
Always
ahead.
hospital action. So it's challenging, but it is rewarding, and it's what you do for the people that you love and care for.
Okay, all right. So, which part is better, the rewarding or the challenging?
It kind of balances out. It
Okay.
balances out.
Right. So, tell me what a typical day looks like, because you're not a professional caregiver. You
No.
know, you're just a regular Joe, and
Well.
in spite of what you know.
Yeah. Right.
Right. So tell me, what is a typical day?
Typical day for me. At this point in time, with what you're going through with your prostate cancer, typical day. Number one, I try not to plan for anything. That's number one. Number two, copious amounts of coffee in the morning to get up and get going, and just to be ready for whatever is needed, whether it's assistance in going to the bathroom or help transitioning.
Is that your favorite?
Oh yes, that is my
Okay,
favorite.
All right, just checking.
Yeah.
All right.
Assistance with going to the bathroom, transitioning from sitting to laying down to standing to walking, and just being there to hold your hand and to rub your neck and rub your shoulders and help ease through the times when you're having extreme pain. That's what it is. It's being present and being in the moment and being available for that.
Yeah. I love that I'm getting this on tape.
Oh, good.
Yeah. So does that pretty much sum it up for a typical? I mean, are there preparation of meals? Is there mowing the lawn, anything like that?
All of that extra work and extra stuff for living. You just got to hit the high marks.
Okay.
You know, make sure the coffee's ready in the morning. Make sure
It's
the
a beautiful thing.
laundry's done. Make sure the dishwasher goes. Make sure at least one nutritious meal a day, and some exercise and fresh air, and get out to the garden when we're home.
Okay.
Those are the things to hit every day.
So then, what would you say is the hardest part of caregiving that people don't see?
The hardest part of caregiving that people don't see is the fact that the caregiver must do self-care, because you cannot pour from an empty pitcher. You have got to keep yourself as firm foundation in where you are and who you are and what you're doing, and be kind to yourself. Because if you burn out, that's not going to do anybody any good. So you have to make sure that you hit the highlights for yourself, and that being rest, recuperation, pacing, and when you get ready and retire for the night, lay it all aside and rest, because that is restorative for you and for the patient.
Okay. What has caregiving taught you about a lot love that you didn't know before?
It adds the extra stuff for gratitude and caring and patience. I have been a caregiver for a number of people, and plus myself, and it kind of gets you grounded into what really matters. You know, some things you can just ignore, because in the scheme of life they don't matter. So I think that's the lesson. If it's the small stuff, don't sweat it. Let it go. Just let it go. And continue with an attitude of gratitude, because that's the only way you're going to get through it.
And does that work?
Sometimes.
Okay.
Most of the time.
Yeah.
More often than not.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. How do you take care of yourself while taking care of someone else?
Get your rest. If you need to take time and say, look, I got to take time for me, take the time for you, but come back. It's working on getting into a rhythm and a balance so that you're able to care for yourself enough so that you can care for others.
All right.
All right.
I can go with that.
You can go with that?
Yeah. So, what do we got here? What do you wish doctors, family, or friends understood better about caregivers?
I think caregivers appreciate being acknowledged. I've noticed that recently with our experiences, the doctors do include me in their conversations and planning. And of course,
yes,
we talk with your kids and my kids about what questions they have, and being the conduit for communication between the patient and those who are outside of the situation that want to know what's going on. And fortunately, these days with internet and emails and all the apps so you can communicate with people, it makes it much easier to update friends and family as to what's going on, what your needs are, what the patient's needs are, and how to, just basically keep everyone informed so they know what's going on and they know what your situation is. Don't be afraid to ask for help. Asking for help is, for some of us, an extremely difficult thing to do. But when you ask for help, you're giving someone else the opportunity to do something good, to perform a mitzvah, to be helpful, and people appreciate that, and it helps them to feel good that they're contributing to. So don't be afraid to ask for help,
Okay.
and just keep going, one day at a time, people.
And is there anything that stands out that you feel that you're misunderstood? If there was one thing that you've seen throughout your different experiences, is there one act or action or whatever that is typically misunderstood or left out of the mix?
When we're talking about someone who is in pain, that is a sticky wicket in today's society, because of course everybody's afraid of pain medication and afraid of addiction and afraid of, oh my God, this could be an overdose. On the other hand, when you have crippling pain or pain that brings you to your knees where you can't function, that needs to be addressed. And sometimes patients, not mentioning any names, my dear,
What?
sometimes patients are reluctant to ask for pain medication because they feel that it's been labeled as drug-seeking behavior. Okay, number one, you're not going to get addicted. Number two, when you have pain of that nature, you need help. So I think that's my big
That's a good one. I like that.
bugaboo
Yeah.
that I have, because quite frankly, I've experienced a lot of pain, and I hate pain. And pain ought not to be the number one thing that's ruling someone's life. We have better living through chemistry.
All right. Okay. Yay, chemistry.
Yay!
Have you ever been overwhelmed or alone in this role? This is a two-part question. And then what did it feel like?
There have been times that I've been overwhelmed, yes, and I will go off by myself and howl at the moon and scream and throw pots and pans around and stamp my feet. That doesn't do any good, but it lets out a little bit of steam.
You don't throw pots and pans around.
No, you're not in the house when I do it.
Okay. All right.
But
I have cameras.
Yeah.
Anyway,
Yeah.
so you're saying you
but
got to let off
you
steam?
got to let off steam and let it out and just let it go.
I mean, but if we're giving, some
Don't-
actual advice here.
Don't take your frustration out on the person who you're giving the care to. That's, first of all, they can't help it. They don't want to be in this position, and they don't want you to be overwhelmed or upset or angry. So, it's you can step back and say, oh, I wish this wasn't happening, but that has nothing to do with the patient. They are not doing this on purpose, and they need love, consideration, and care.
And so, let's see. So our question was, have you ever felt overwhelmed or alone in this role? And you've said yes. And then what did that feel like? Did it feel like, I guess what I'm wondering is that where you then feel underappreciated, or some of these words like that, underappreciated or misunderstood, or I mean, how did it specifically make you feel?
Well, I don't feel underappreciated. I know that we are fortunate to have good friends, good family, and a good network of people who love us and support us.
That's true.
In so many ways.
Okay.
From our home helper, Eric, bless his heart, our friends who come in and visit and are helping with the financial burden. It's been an amazing outpouring of love and support, and it helps. It's the little things, the little phone call that says, "Are you hanging in there? Are you holding up?" I say, "Yeah. This is what we do, this is how we care for each other, and thank you for your love and support.
Right.
Yeah.
So let me ask you this: what keeps you going on days when it feels like it's just too much?
Stubbornness. I'm stubborn.
Right.
I'm very stubborn, and you can't tell me what I can't do.
No.
No, you can't.
No.
Because I'm going to do it.
Yeah.
That's all.
So what keeps you going on days when it feels like too much? So it's just you're just saying it's just pure stubbornness.
Pure stubbornness.
It's not compassion for the recipient.
No, I am gonna make sure that you're gonna feel better.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. But I mean, and that's your only tool. That's your only tool.
Okay. Well, I'm empathetic. I'm compassionate. I'm a nice person.
Okay. Well,
Keep
no,
telling yourself that.
No, you are. I'm just. It's more. It was. You kind of locked onto the stubborn thing because you're stubborn.
I am stubborn.
And so I'm looking to see if. I mean, it would seem to me that there's other things that keep you going besides stubborn.
Okay. Well.
Or am I? Is that all? Is that it?
Coffee and drugs. Okay.
Okay, all right, we're getting closer. Okay, that's certainly something.
I mean, I have my own physical issues, so
She does.
Coffee and drugs.
We all have our
Keep me
mental
going.
issues, and so we'll move on now before I have some, and you're doing really good there, buddy.
Oh, thank you, honey.
Some just snappy answers there
Snap, snap.
for our audience out there. I'm really fascinated with my toga that I'm wearing, but anyway, if you could speak to someone just beginning this journey, okay, what would you tell them?
First of all, take a deep breath and ask yourself, what is important right now? Is it getting urgent care? Is it going to be continued care? Is this going to be a sprint or a marathon? Whatever it is, get yourself centered, get yourself ready, let your patient know how much you care about them and love them, and make sure you take care of yourself so that you can be there and be present no matter what comes down the pike. Just understand that sometimes you can't plan for anything. You can't, if you make appointments or schedules or dinner plans, and some things just need to be canceled. Some things become urgent and you need to take care of them. But just be flexible. Take care of yourself so you can take care of your patient. And it's all about the love, because you can't do it without love.
Okay, all right. So listen, thank you for that, Laura.
You're welcome.
I'm going to toss out a couple little nuggets here because I've been a caregiver, provider, specifically for right here, this beautiful lady. And I'll have to tell you that I was startled by the experience. I thought I was a tad more empathetic, and that maybe I at first, because I hadn't quite gotten a handle on it, I didn't have any classes in it, and in fact, let's see, the very first encounter was, what was your ailment?
I had neck surgery just right after we met.
What about the foot?
That was after I had the neck surgery.
Uh-huh.
I had the foot surgery.
Okay, so first of all, to be a good care provider, you have to have your facts in order. And so anyway, so
I'm going to interrupt you.
Yes, you will.
I will interrupt you
Okay.
and tell you one thing you need to know is what type of patients you're caring for. Some patients are very self-sufficient. They do not want their pillows fluffed. They do not want you hovering. They do not want you asking for this, that, and the other thing. I'm that type of patient. Other people are most appreciative, and they want those fluffed pillows, they want those back rubs, they want that hand holding, and they want to be surrounded with a blanket, warm blanket of love and care. And that's fine.
Is that fine? Is
That
okay?
is fine.
That's fine.
That is
isn't it?
fine. You just
That
need to
doesn't make
adjust.
them a lesser patient.
That
does
doesn't
it?
make them a lesser patient.
That's right.
That doesn't make them necessarily needy or whiny.
Oh.
No, you're not. No, I mean when
So-
you have
we
issues,
were talking
you have
about
issues.
you.
Well, okay.
You interrupted me.
I interrupted you to say different patients are patients.
Different strokes.
Different strokes, different folks.
Okay, so going on with mine, there was I found out, of course, that I am not a hospital dude. I am not fond of the hospital in any way, shape, or form, and fortunately with Laura, she has always said, leave, you don't need to be here. I'm probably going to find out that she didn't mean that, but anyway, but I was present, I was there, what do you need? And then we kind of went through a litany of, she accused the dog of driving the car, and the car got all smashed up, and I mean smashed up. I was so happy that Laura's still with us, and she broke her back, and then that started my first experience with care homes, and I can't say that was a highlight, because these incidences, unlike hip surgery or whatever, the back really altered Laura's perspective there for a while, and she was frightened, and are you humming?
I'm humming.
Okay.
It's my self-soothing.
Okay, and so she needed a little more attention, a little more, she needed an advocate to go to the nurse's station and go, look, this bed was made, for Muppets or something, it's not going to work, or what's the deal with the meds, and so I have those skills where I can, encourage people to do their jobs. And so then, as we move along, she then healed up partially, and then she, I don't know what you did. What'd you do?
I was tossing some alfalfa to the goat and the ram over the fence, and I fell, and I broke my C1 and C2 in my neck. It's called the hangman's fracture, where it's 30% die, another 30% are paralyzed, and the other 30% recover. And I was a fortunate one to recover, so I'm very happy about that. But it's been a bit of a rodeo, and
So back to me, it would be that what I learned was that I can't say that I'm top drawer as a caregiver, because I'm a little abrupt, and I do come from a place where this is kind of how I was raised, which is, you just you do push through, and there's not a lot of wiggle or anything else. And so I found myself reacting like that, in which, I was like, time to get up, time to take a walk, time to, I had a very, very dear friends who, the one friend tore up her knee, and they had a Hawaii trip planned or something, and so the other friend was going to go to Hawaii, and I was going to caretake. And so I brought everybody together, to establish the parameters and the boundaries, etc. And apparently, I scared my dear friend so bad that she begged my other friend to not leave her in the hands of me. Okay, and I was very sad about that. You know that it's not what I meant, but I felt that this person needed, that little oomph right there from the get, so as to avoid any misunderstanding as we went along. So that was a little bit of an insight where I needed patience, and I too am stubborn, and so we both have this where we got to be right or something, and our way is the right way, and so it's this again, when you're dealing with caregivers that are not trained. This is not a profession. They're not making any money off it, and it's an interruption to many of their daily activities. They still have their regular job, etc., and they're still providing compassionate care for, let's say, a family member is when it's, I would say, the most prevalent. And so it's something that if I saw that coming up on my horizon, I would spend a little time examining who and what I am, what I'm prepared to do, what I'm not prepared to do, and in particular ask why I'm not prepared to do something, because in the end, it is, you are pretty much the caregiver. You are out of the picture. This is not your story at all. It's her story, and so she's supposed to get the very best compassionate care possible, and so that will require paying attention, decompressing. I don't throw things, so whatever. I go talk to the goat maybe, but I think the biggest frustration for me as a care provider is when my whomever it is not participating, not moving forward, not getting up and taking those first couple of painful steps. All of those kind of things that are about self-love. And so an injured person has some responsibility and duty to participate in this thing. It's not just a one-sided event. It's easy to get there because I am the person that loves to be pampered, loves to have my pillow fluffed, loves to, I'm in so much pain, and I get, oh, it's okay. It's
You say, oh, poor baby.
Yeah, and or but the other thing is so suddenly someone wants a certain kind of Kleenex. Well, then go get it. That's there's no rhyme or reason to this, but I'm telling you, either do it or find a professional or whatever, because if you're not capable of doing it, not only will you damage the relationship, you'll damage the recovery, which is the most important part of this story. And so this is Papa Bear, Mama Bear, and this is a little bit of our take on caregiving. And if anyone's still listening, we want to thank you for spending some time with us.
Thank you.
And I want to thank Laura for she is top drawer. I mean, she's been in here documenting my spasms, etc., and fluffing my pillow, and getting me a coffee, and just being all around, a wonderful human being, and I am blessed for that. And so
thank you so much for your time and your interest and following us on this journey.
Yep. And so again, it's radianceradicalhealing.com is where we are starting this process of education, and in particular, because this is specifically driven by this time of mine, prostate cancer, and an aggressive, because I do think that's kind of a piece that we glossed over here, where the caregiver is looking down the barrel of some possible outcomes that are not pleasant, and so it can be scary for everyone. And so fortunately, we got this, and we also are loved and supported by so many people out there. I can't tell you how amazed I was. And here's the thing, we are surrounded by love all the time. The whole thing is, are you willing to accept it? That's all. And that's a big deal. That's a big deal. So that's
Thank
it.
you.
That's all. And
Thank you, and good night.
And good night. She's trying to get the last word.
I'm trying to get the last word
Right,
in and say
right.
good night, because hospital visitation's over and I've got to go.
Yeah, and she plays by those rules, and so and she wants to go.
I'm ready to go to sleep.
She wants to go to sleep. All right, peace.
Peace out.
All right.